Thanks to all of you that submitted your questions for this Friday Q&A episode here on OTRS Central. Again, if you want your questions answered in future Q&A episodes, which happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this channel, the information on how to do so is in the description box below. I am going to make one change to the Friday Q&A starting next week. It will be, I guess you call it Facebook Friday. So if you want your questions answered for the Friday Q&A, you need to go to the new OTRS Central Facebook fan page and submit your questions there. It's a way, I guess, to introduce you to the Facebook page and get me to interact more on the Facebook page and get you guys to check out that Facebook page. So you can tweet your questions for the Monday and Wednesday Q&A here on going forward, but Fridays will be devoted strictly to Facebook questions, and I will put that information for that Facebook page in the description box below. So let's get started with this Q&A then. Enough with the jibba jabba. John Cena is a tool. Ask which NXT talent will do the best in the WWE. Good question. Some will probably say Adrian Neville because of his high-flying ability. Some might say somebody like a Mojo Rawley because the WWE obviously is very high on him. One guy that I think could do very well in the WWE that stands out to me, and some of you will say like Colin Cassidy, and I think he could do very well. Some of you will point to Enzo Amore. I'll go with Sami Zayn, and the reason is I think he has a real ability to connect with the audience, and the way they've presented him on NXT, I think, could transition very well to the WWE. A likable, kind of affable guy, but a guy who is very real and doesn't always win every freaking time. You can actually connect with his character and get into his character. So I would be surprised if Sami Zayn didn't do very well once he got up to the main roster. Connor Going asks, can Cesaro regain some of the momentum he's lost since being aligned with Paul Heyman, and if so, how? Oh, sure, he can regain some of that momentum. There's no question. If so, how? The best way to do that would be to turn him face and stop trying to force the fans that want to cheer him to fucking boo him. Another way to do that is actually featuring him like a star, putting him in those key segments, you know, the 9 o'clock hour, the 10 o'clock hour, maybe the main event sometimes on Raw. So some of the things you could do. Put him in an actual real feud against a big name guy. That's also going to help. Splitting him away from Paul Heyman, I think, frankly, would help him at this point, too. At Rampager213, if Paige's heel turn is a success and she's over with the crowd, will she be given another chance at the Divas Championship? Yeah, I wouldn't expect her first title win is going to be her only title win. No way, shape, or form. And if her heel turn is successful and it does work, I would be fully surprised if they didn't give her the Divas Championship. It's Johnny Russo. Will The Miz ever headline WrestleMania again? Sorry, Johnny Russo. Not happening. Were you the one that wrote that letter on Raw? Are you Vince Russo's illegitimate bastard son? No, no, I doubt that's ever going to happen again. I'm just saying. At Treyon5, do you think that WWE should put the United States title on Rusev? I get what you're getting at in terms of, you know, him being the Russian and having him carry the United States title, and that would seem to work in theory, and that's great. But you've had a lot of non-Americans hold the United States title, so I don't know how much of a difference that really makes. You could do more with the story of Rusev holding that U.S. title. The problem is, on the flip side, who are those kind of all-American patriotic figures that could pursue him in that U.S. title and bring it back to the USA? That's a key component there. It could work. It's just a matter of how the pieces will fit together. At Dexter C73, is Roman Reigns ready to take Cena's spot? No. He might not be ready for a while. We probably want somebody to take Cena's spot sooner rather than later, but at this particular moment, he is not ready. Could he be someday? Could he be that guy? Very well could. I'm advocating very strongly that it be Cena that put over Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31 because it definitely wouldn't hurt the company, and in fact, it would help all parties involved. But taking his spot outright, there's a lot to go before we get to that point. At Blue Goblin 01, how much different do you think the wrestling business would have been if the Von Erich tragedies never happened? That is a great question. And, these are ifs and buts and everything else. I would imagine WCCW would have lasted longer. Would they eventually had to have caved to the WWF and then WCW perhaps? But I would imagine, they would have been another company that would have made it longer, at least, like I said, maybe into the mid 90s. And as a result, the business as a whole would have been better off for it, no question. At MBFBCC 22, should HBK have had more world title reigns during his second run from 2002 to 2010? Yes. I think it was ridiculous that his last 7+ years, even if it was his decision to never hold the title, I thought for the character, it was important for him to have one or two more world title runs. I'm just saying. At Daniel Arberg, why has WWE stopped going to MSG for pay-per-view events when they go to Miami and Boston every year? This could have something to do with availability of the venue compared to when the WWE is trying to do shows. It could be something where the WWE doesn't want to do a pay-per-view event at MSG all the time because when they do one there, they want it to feel special. It could come down to something as simple as the rent maybe that is being charged for the venue compared to the venues in Miami or Boston. Maybe it's cheaper for the WWE to run a show there. I'm sure there's all types of different thoughts and all different types of different reasons why that is the case, and I'm not really sure. Those are just some of them that would jump out to me. At K Horn asks, do you think Antonio Cesaro as WWE World Heavyweight Champion could have been made to work well along with the Paul Heyman guy gimmick? No, and the reason I say that is because there was no real Paul Heyman guy gimmick to me with Cesaro. Furthermore, everything about Heyman is about, keeping fresh in people's minds that he was associated with the 1 in 21 and 1 and all the rest of that bullshit. So I don't think it would work personally, especially with him as a heel. If you're going to have Cesaro as a champion, it needed to be as a babyface, in my opinion. At El Francisco 96, aside from Sting, who's the biggest wrestling star to never be in the WWE? In terms of never being with the company on a consistent basis, you could go with guys like Vern Gagne and Lou Thesz. Gorgeous George would definitely be another big-time guy that was never with the company full-time. Some might say Bruiser Brody or Abdullah the Butcher. There's a lot of them. But those are some of the ones that stand out to me. At Tyler Ruthless, it's been 3 years since CM Punk's pipe bomb. How do you think it will affect the WWE both short-term and long-term? What effect did it have on the company at all, period? The only thing it did was it created hope and unrealistic expectations by WWE fans that somehow the product was going to get better. Think about it now. It's been over 3 years since that happened. And what shit has really, truly changed? The more you think and want to believe that shit has changed, it remains exactly the fucking same. And it probably will be for the next couple of years going forward. So what did it really do? I mean, I'm being serious here. What did it do for the company short-term and long-term? It created an 8-day window of extreme interest and renewed interest in the WWE, and then they squashed that by bringing CM Punk back for stupid fucking reasons, and then they did stupid shit with him. Here's the guy that's the most interesting character in wrestling right now. We've got the potential to do this awesome storyline. So let's bring him back with the title 8 days after he leaves for no fucking reason. Now he's surrendered all of his fucking leverage. Let's have him talk about stupid ice cream bars, and then let's have Kevin Nash interfere and have ADR cash in at SummerSlam and win the title, and then let's have CM Punk job to Triple H at fucking Night of Champions because that makes goddamn sense. They didn't do shit. If anything, it disenfranchised CM Punk a little bit from his experience with the WWE. So I guess you could say short-term and long-term. I apologize. It did have an effect. This would probably help lead to CM Punk eventually leaving the WWE. Because maybe he actually hoped that some of the shit was going to change. And after his 434-day title reign, he found out how it really works. And he said enough is enough. At AsGeek, do you think if Hogan and Austin happened at WrestleMania 18 that Austin would have gotten booed like The Rock did? And P.S. It's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday to you. And that's not the reason I'm answering this question. It's because it's a really good question. One of those fun hypotheticals. You know me. I've always been that individual that says it should have been Hogan and Austin at 18 and not Hogan and Rock. But yes, Hogan would have turned the crowd on Austin too. Because at that time, Rock was the top babyface in the WWF. and Hogan turned them against him. There was something different about Hogan. There's something different about it, especially with that Canadian crowd. You could have put anybody in there against Hogan, and they would have gotten roundly booed. And yes, that includes Stone Cold. At Mr. Beetle 890, how would you book Brock Lesnar after SummerSlam if he beats John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? I could go into speculatives and hypotheticals here, but without me knowing his contract situation, without me knowing the number of dates and number of shows that he's previously agreed to work and what we might be able to get him to agree to, I can't really do that, which is part of the reason why maybe I wouldn't do it at SummerSlam. I might do it more so at Survivor Series at the earliest, maybe more likely the Royal Rumble, or hell, as late as even Elimination Chamber. I mean, without knowing that stuff, I like I said, I could throw up hypotheticals of have him beat, freaking Cena at Night of Champions, and you give him a signature opponent at Survivor Series, which looks like it won't be Daniel Bryan. So then you run into that problem. I don't know. Because without knowing all those particulars and details of Brock Lesnar's agreed to number of dates and his contract, I can't really comment on that because I don't know. It makes it hard to piece things together without knowing that information. And then at Michael_Corvin closes out this Q&A with a great question. Fuck, marry, kill Layla, Serena Williams, Gabrielle Union. I would fuck Layla. I would marry Serena Williams so that way I could pound that puss multiple times every day. I'd make her a moo-moo, fucking put like 7 or 8 babies in her. I'm like, you ain't playing tennis no more. You're spreading them and taking them. And then I'd kill Gabrielle Union. If you're just fucking with a married guy in Dwayne Wade, that's a no-no for me. And, I'd want to fuck Layla because I'd like to have a Moroccan chick. And I'd want to marry Serena Williams because that's like my dream girl. I'll fucking dominate. Oh, I dominate her ass. So Gabrielle Union can piss right off. Anyways, thanks to all of you that submitted your questions. Remember, next Friday, it'll be Facebook Friday. So if you want your questions answered next Friday, go to the Facebook fan page. That link's down in the description box. Submit your questions there. Otherwise, take to Twitter if you want your questions answered in the Monday or Wednesday Q&As. Thanks again to all of you guys that participated. Check out the channel for other great videos coming up throughout this weekend and some of the great videos that have already been up this week. And I'll see you again Monday for the next OTRS Central Q&A episode.